Hey everyone, my name is Ksenia, and today my guest here is AJ Gray.
Wait, where is he? my name's Jerome. Hey, who's AJ?
I don't know.
Oh, you said you're interviewing with AJ. I just got picked up off the street. Like, I don't know what.
Yeah, that's just.
Nah, what's up?
We're here on the day of the first night of GCW Homecoming.
Yeah.
Which is a huge wrestling weekend. And we've seen a lot more eyes on hardcore wrestling and on GCW in particular recently. And you as an experienced wrestler, can you tell us how have those changes felt within the industry? How do you experience those? Like, is there a flow of new fans? Is there a new approach to the genre in the industry?
It just feels like wrestling in general is like in a pretty good boom. Like, everything in wrestling is starting to like get a lot more attention, like not just hardcore, just like wrestling in general. You got more wrestling on TV than almost ever. Now you got more wrestling on the internet than ever. Like, everyone's putting stuff out, and all this stuff is good now. So like, it's like an industry boom. It's not just hardcore. Yeah,
and obviously one thing that's helped is that the forbidden door is now open. Why are you acting like that?
Everybody should have been working together in the first place. Make the money. Don't make the ego. Make the money. That's all we need to care about, making that money. The sweet greenbacks. Ego, you can't pay your bill with egos. You can pay it with a lot of money though.
Or hot dogs.
Hot dogs don't work, but they also save you on a meal. So I mean, it's kind of like
I love
payment.
hot dogs. I'm gonna go on record and admit that I would take a good hot dog over a good burger. Honestly.
I don't know about that one. I don't know what kind of hamburgers they got over there in Russia, but I don't know about that one.
We're like so sidetracking, but yesterday I had a quarter pounder in America for the first time, and it was so much worse than the ones we have
McDonald's.
in Russia. Yeah, but like
America don't care about McDonald's,
right?
You gotta go to like
McDonald's more than
if you see like a little like restaurant, it looks like it's like in an old ass house. Those are the ones you need to go to because they home cook everything. It's like they don't use the fake meat; they use real meat. They use like real products.
I'm gonna say another controversial thing. My favorite burgers I've ever had are In-N-Out.
I'm done.
Are you leaving?
I'm done.
Cut.
Nope, I'm done. Can't believe that.
Share with us which
In-N-Out's just a basic burger. It's very mediocre.
The fries are great.
Those are mediocre. They're just mediocre. They're just normal ass burger and fries.
I'm just a basic girl.
I mean, you said it. I didn't say it.
I said it. I admit it. Which one is your favorite? Since we're talking about
Whataburger.
This. Okay, I've had that, and honestly, I was not that impressed.
Where'd you have it at? In Texas?
In Las Vegas.
See, you're going to In-N-Out territory eating Whataburger. That's where you went wrong. You gotta go to Texas, stop at a Whataburger. They're like at every single stop. Yes, it's worth it.
Okay.
The patty melt, add bacon on it. It's
okay. I'll put it on my list. Checklist.
Checklist of In-N-Out places. That's what you have.
No, I have a checklist honestly of American places where I need to eat.
Put Whataburger on there.
I've had it. That's the thing. No. Well, not in Texas. Okay, should we go back to wrestling actually?
Yeah, yes, please.
I mean, burgers are fun, and yeah, that's great. I'm definitely keeping that in, but yeah. So, the Forbidden Door, right? It's open now. Promotions are working together, and I completely agree that should have happened way back.
A long time ago.
But we saw Nick Gage appear on AEW last week, which is a groundbreaking thing in wrestling,
because he breaks every prototype you want for a wrestler. He breaks every single one. And he's on a national televised product, which is insane to think about. He has a felony conviction. Most people will be like, oh no, we cannot do anything with him. And now they're throwing him in there with like one of their best guys. It's like, if you think about the magnitude of it, it's huge.
It's huge, yeah. And when it comes to hardcore wrestling being popularized and being on TV somewhat, to a certain extent, AEW also comes to mind, but it's still the question of just like you said, money. Because you as a hardcore wrestler yourself, you're saying that the thing is making money and working together efficiently. But with hardcore wrestling, it can't really be, as of now, exposed to a larger audience in a larger scale product. Of course, we've seen AEW do like some snippets of that. But how is it even possible to combine you being a hardcore wrestler and prioritizing, like, popularizing the product and making money? Is it even compatible?
Yeah, it's compatible. Like, these deathmatch, this crowd tonight is going to be one of the biggest indie crowds you'll have all year.
Yeah.
And they're there for what?
For deathmatch wrestling.
Exactly. So, like, it's very compatible. I just got to look at the magnitude of the situation we're in. We're about to do some groundbreaking independent things on our own with deathmatch as our basis. So, like, that's why it can make money right there. And then just imagine if you had a cog in the machine pushing that.
Yeah.
Like, look at music. You've been pushing every single sore subject in music for plenty of years. And what do the people do? They keep throwing money into that, putting that in front of everybody, and everybody likes it. That's why music is such a high grossing business.
Yeah. But also, do you think Deathmatch is like doomed to stay independent to a certain extent, or are we actually going to see it on national television sooner or later?
I think sooner or later, I just don't know how long, but I feel like you're gonna get too tired of just normal. You're gonna need that next extra step. That extra step is adding the violence into it like that. They did it with Hell in a Cell. They did it with ECW. You're gonna have to add that next step, I feel, sometimes. So I don't know when. It's gonna happen
Eventually.
though.
And why do you think so many people are so averse to it? Because we see violence in movies on national television all the time. The very same blood, even faker one, like actual fake blood, not real blood, in movies, right? But we see the same like violence, we see blood. But when it comes to wrestling, all of a sudden people are taken aback. Like, what's the problem there?
You don't want to give them all that blood every single time because they're going to want more and more and more and more. And where it's going to lead, you actually have to die in a match. And that's not the goal. That's not the goal at all. You want to go home safe to your family, but like you can't give them that every single time because if you do, they're just going to want bloodier, more violence, more violence. You got to bring it back sometimes just to bring them up a little bit, to bring it back up. It's all a build. It's all a build and a climb.
Yeah, but also one thing that you can't really run away from when it comes to a larger business like AEW's or WWE's, that unfortunately, and I hate to even say it because I think it's completely horrible and bad, but like we've seen that whenever a match gets bloodier, say Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, the viewership drops. Like people switch channels. And for example, especially women apparently switch channels, which again I hate to say it because I as a woman love that much wrestling and I hate to to bring it up. But do you think the larger audiences will be able to like get over it and actually get more accustomed to it as more promotions do it, or should it be the other way around? Should it wait for the audience to come
just how
around?
people build to it, how they get to it. Like their path leading to it needs to keep gathering people. So when you get that blood, violent, very grotesque match, you've already built the viewership, the people that care about it, and they're just going to keep tuning in.
Yeah, that makes sense. But also, you are a hardcore wrestler, but also you're a person of color, and wrestling is one of those industries that really had to come around to representation. Like, there's not much representation in wrestling whatsoever for any marginalized groups, honestly. And even if you like look at old-timey wrestling, like 80s, 90s, everyone is white in the crowd.
No. 70s and 80s. If you look at all the southern crowds, mainly black people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like in Mexico, in Mexico, like a lot of people go to wrestling shows and everything because they don't have another form of entertainment. They're in a impoverished area. That's the way wrestling was in the 70s and 80s. That's why Junkyard Dog was one of the biggest stars then. That's why Vince wanted to bring him in because he was so big in Louisiana because they were poor and they needed to do something just to entertain their families. They went to the wrestling show. They fell in love with the person that they saw themselves in. And that's how like there was actually tons of black people. Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, all these areas had tons of black people in the crowd. They just had mainly white people out there.
It's so interesting that you say it because wrestling is at its core underground, like where it stemmed from, right? And it's just the weirdest thing for those like larger companies, the one larger company, to kind of gatekeep it now. It's just so weird. It's just so unnatural for wrestling, honestly. But lately we've gotten some groundbreaking changes, right? Just recently we had Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
we had
Big E.
We had Big E win Money in the Bank. And again, from inside the industry, have you been really feeling like a shift? Is it really happening, or is it just performative, or like what's going on?
I do feel like right now I'm just using people of color. Right now, the talent we have of people of color is just insane. There's so many guys that are ready to go on national television right now, just chomping at the bits, and you can see like people actually like step up. Carmelo Hayes, you're seeing people step up all the time. It's just, we got to get more, but we're making good progress now. It's just still has to be more, because there's so many people that are so different. Everyone's so different. They're not just the same stereotype black person. We all have our own characters, our own personalities, our own moves. Everything we do is different from each other. So you can't put us all in one role and say you have to be that. No, because it's not going to fit half of us. Half of us don't do that in the first place. So we can't be stereotyped anymore. Now it just means like we got to start seeing what we are and using us to our best of our abilities. And like me with deathmatch wrestling, I feel like that's a great start right there, because there's not many black deathmatch wrestlers. But like I'm doing it well. Maybe there's going to be a kid someday. I hope not. Don't do this. It hurts. It sucks. Don't do it. But he's going to want to do it. And he's going to be like, wait, AJ did that. That means I can do it. And hell, he might be the best wrestler in the world. Yeah. But we're actually giving people the ability to like have hope.
Yeah, and you bring up like representation. I guess you could call it representation, right? And there's actually a study that I'm going to link in the description down below, that representation matters way more for marginalized groups. And they studied like women, people of color, LGBTQ people, and they showed people that had to have like public performances. They showed them videos of representatives of their group doing similar things and like doing them successfully, and that actually changed the outcome. That actually made them more comfortable, and that did not work on white straight men. Newsflash, because
I wonder why.
The whole world is representation for them. Lucky for them. Must be cool. Yeah. Where was I going with this? Yeah, representation. When you were growing up and when you were getting into wrestling, when you were just starting in the business, what were some of the things, people, promotions that inspired you in the first place?
Really, it wasn't just a bunch of... I had a dream of doing it as a kid, and I was like bored at home after college football, and I was like, what do I want to do? I can't play baseball. I can't play basketball. Well, I'm gonna give wrestling a try. I always liked it. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And then here I am now. I don't know how I got here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. This happened. Yeah, and as you said, like some kid might see you in the future, but don't try it at home.
Don't do it.
That's one thing. Don't try it at home, but your life is your life if you're of legal age.
More power to you.
If there is a kid like that, what's one piece of advice apart from don't do it?
Shut the up and listen. Shut up and listen to what people try to like when they give you advice. Don't say, "Oh, I did it for this." Shut the up. Stop talking. Listen to the people that are giving you the advice, because they obviously care to give you the advice in the first place. Because most of the time when you get advice, you don't ask for it. Like when you get the best advice, you don't ask a single like, "Hey sir, what'd you think?" No, they're just like, "Hey bro, this is what happened. This is how you fix it." Shut the up. Don't tell them why you did it in the first place. Just fix it and listen to people. And
there's also one thing about young wrestlers, aspiring wrestlers, and I'm curious whether you've kind of faced it or like was challenged by that, and I think probably in hardcore wrestling even more so, that when they're just starting, they're trying to like go kind of easy, to like not, to not get a career altering injury when they're like 18 years old, right? But also there's the flip side, that to get noticed by someone, you actually need to do things in the ring. What was your approach when you were like just starting, when you were less known? Like, how did you get here?
I tried to do everything off my athleticism, because once again I was a college football player, and that shit hurt so fucking bad. So I'm like, man, I gotta figure out another fucking route. I gotta do something else.
And now you do something that hurts even worse.
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
It all hurts. Hell, just getting in the ring hurts. Hell, I got bad knees. But like, no, like I just had to figure out like a different way to give myself to the audience so they can accept it. And everyone likes this truth shit. Everyone likes me being me. So I stopped jumping off of shit and just started hitting people.
And that works for you.
Yeah.
And talking about things that hurt and things that are dangerous, quote unquote, because again, the entirety of wrestling is dangerous. Don't try it at home. Like you could pretty much just be doing something that looks like nothing, and
a headlock will fucking kill somebody.
Right, and it's a problem that many people have with deathmatch wrestling in particular, because they're like, oh, like it's dangerous, it's unnecessary, it's reckless, but it's just that you see that it's dangerous. Like
I think it's because it's the blood and everything. They're like overly scared about it.
Yeah. What would you say to those people? Like, is deathmatch wrestling really that much more dangerous than regular wrestling?
Yes, quit trying to get into deathmatch wrestling without being a good professional wrestler in the first place, please.
Oh my god, yes. Actually, yes.
Please.
That's also like a
you're gonna
huge
hurt
topic,
yourself,
too.
you're gonna hurt everybody else. Fucking stop. Go actually learn to wrestle, learn your techniques, do all that before you even try to do it. Because there's too many people trying to like crutch on bleeding all the time.
Yeah.
And they're gonna last like a year and a half, 2 years, and then they won't be able to walk for the rest of their lives.
I'm so glad that you said it, because I am obviously not a wrestler, and I don't feel like it's my place to say it, but I notice it a lot in the industry that sometimes people think that, oh, like, I'm gonna do deathmatch wrestling, that means I don't have to do the whole technical thing.
No, please learn to fucking wrestle. You're saving your own body and you're saving everybody else. Quit just jumping into it for fucking clout. That's what a lot of people do it for.
Yeah, and on that wonderful note, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
If you have something to plug, you can do it right now.
My Cash App is $Thanos Tyson. Send me money for absolutely zero reason.
Sure. If you like the interview, send AJ money.
If you hate it, send me more money.
Yes, this works. And in the meanwhile, thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a like if you had a good time. Subscribe. Tap the notification bell to never miss an upload. And until next time, goodbye.